guys, welcome back to another episode of the Muscle Whisperer with me, Kate Browne. In this episode, I'll be sharing some tips for bolstering. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you have any comments, please leave them below. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some tips for bolstering, and we're starting in prone. So I have my client undraped, just so that you can see what's going on, but obviously usually they would be covered up. So in prone position, it's generally best to have a small support under the ankles. So what I'm using here, just move this so I can show you, is just a half, what's it called? Sort of half cylinder support. So it's not overly high, but it's just enough to allow the feet to have some clearance so that they can relax properly, and it just puts the body into a slightly more ergonomic position than if they're just lying flat. I do actually have some clients that prefer to have no bolster in this position, and that's absolutely fine. It's whatever suits them, so I do just check that they're always happy with the setup that we have. But generally speaking, this is better ergonomically to have a little bit of support under the ankles in prone position. The other thing that you might have, that if your client has quite a lordotic curve in their lumbar spine, or if they've come to you with back pain, lower back pain, then it can be good to have support under the pelvis, so that this helps to sort of level out the curvature in their spine, and it's therefore not putting as much pressure and possible impingement on those nerves coming out. So for me, I just have a sort of a flattish square pillow, and I'm just going to pop this under the hip area. So if I can ask you to just push up, that's it, and pop the cushion underneath. Just try that and just check that it's comfortable. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's great.
Just let them know that, you know, we can adjust it if it's not quite feeling right, or if they decide that that's just not feeling comfortable, then we can remove it as well. But generally, this really helps just to take some of the curvature out of the lower back, and have a more level lower back, taking some of the pressure off of those vertebrae. Okay, so that's the prone position. So now we are in a side lying position, and I use side lying a lot, you've probably seen from my previous videos, but also for pregnancy massages, this is how I bolster as well. So I've got the client lying on their side. I've already given just a small pillow to support under the head to keep the neck and spine in better alignment. So for the legs, there's two options usually that I offer and let the client decide what's more helpful. So I'm using a full round bolster for this one. All of these are available as well with Massage Warehouse. So the top leg is bent at a right angle, the lower leg is straight, and then I pop this under their leg like this and align the length of their shin with the length of the bolster. So the hip is at a right angle, and so is the knee, and this is keeping the leg in better alignment and the hip in better alignment, so it's not collapsing in on itself. And that's particularly important if the client is pregnant, that they're not sort of putting too much pressure on their bump. However, some find that this leg position isn't quite right for them, so the other option I have is to have the knees stacked. So the knees are then both sort of bent together, and then I'm putting the bolster between the knees and sandwiching it between the calves like that. Some find this more comfortable. The only downside with this one is it can be a little bit more unstable, because the knees are stacked rather than staggered, but just whatever works for you and for the client. Then I might also give them a pillow to use in front of them. So again, I've just got a square pillow here, and I give that to them so they can sort of have it to lean on and squeeze on. So when I'm working this way and I'm sort of pushing the body forwards a little bit, they have something there that sort of supports them. This can also be helpful if they are pregnant, that it goes just under the bump a little bit just to provide some more support. And if I need to provide a bit more, then perhaps I fold a towel in half, just a hand towel, and pop that under the bump as well. And once they're comfortable, then you're all set to go. And finally, we are in the supine position. I've given just a small pillow to support the head and neck. Once I'm working around the head and neck though, I will remove that. It's just when I'm working on other areas of the body. So I'm going to be using the full round bolster again, this time under the knees. So if you just raise your knees a little bit. So the bolster that I use, or I tend to use for supine, is bigger than the one that I use in prone. So the one in prone is a half shape, half circle shape. Can't think of the right name for that, but you know what I mean. And this is the full cylinder shape. I will get the proper names for those. But the reason for this is because I want the lower back to be really softened and flattened on the table. When the legs are flat, that's sort of that curvature in the lower back, that lordotic curve, becomes more pronounced, and that can cause pain or discomfort in the lower back area. So that's the reason for the bolster under the knees. Again, this isn't for everybody. Some clients do actually prefer to lie flat, depending on the shape of their spine and what is comfortable for them. So it's just checking that they're happy with the setup that you have. But generally speaking, it's nice to have the knees more supported on a bit of a thicker bolster than when you're lying on your front. Also, if I was trying to really direct the lymph or the circulation towards the heart, then I might also use another bolster under the ankles just to provide a bit more support as well. So this way the lower leg is more raised and we're directing the flow towards the heart and aiding in the venous return. So that's bolstering. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you have any questions, then please leave them in the comments and I'll answer them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed today's video, then please like, share and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you again soon.